Well, as I mentioned earlier, Labor is having us on again with its renewables-only experiment because electricity prices are set to rise again, thanks to a massive surge in the cost of building transmission lines by up to 55%. And of course, who pays for it? You and I, the consumer. Joining me now for more on this is Aidan Morrison, Energy Program Director at the Centre for Independent Studies. Aidan, really good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. So here we go again with this renewables rollout. I mean, at every level, it is facing a mountain of challenges, and now with transmission lines. What's your read on this latest disaster under the renewables fantasy?
Look, we're just seeing unfold what we always thought would happen. And I think there's two reasons now why these transmission line costs are starting to emerge as just way higher than they were initially ever priced, which were always unrealistic. The first is the projects actually grow themselves. So there was this fantastic idea that we just provide one link into the countryside and then all the other generators would sort of link themselves into the grid. What's happened in reality is that link gets expanded, so we pay for the transmission lines to run right into all the generation projects that happen out in the countryside. So these projects go from an initial simple tie to a big matted web in the countryside, and that increases the costs. And also the prices blow out, and the latest report from the market operator makes it very clear that's a consequence of trying to build everything at once, which is exactly what's happening in this rushed rollout of massive renewables. When everything has to be built before 2030, there's huge competition for all the materials, all the contractors, all the management, massive competition, which means that there's basically price hikes for all the contractors and labour and materials, so the prices go up a lot. And that's what's happening right here. It's a consequence of the rush, and it's an inevitable consequence. Prices are going massively up.
Absolutely. And, you know, you mentioned what's happening on the land. Already we need 10,000 kilometres of these transmission lines to get to the renewables targets, but the project's so far behind, only half will be delivered in the next decade. And Aidan, it's actually the farmers who will suffer here, won't it? Because it's razoring through their lands.
That's exactly right. And if you go and talk to some farmers, and I have, every time I'm absolutely shocked at the depth and strength of the feeling against these projects and the transmission lines and all the wind and solar that comes with them. The number of different ways in which interrupts their operations and interrupts their lifestyle. It's not just the simple things like the vision and the noise of seeing this kind of stuff operating. Also moving machinery around. How do you move around in bushfires? How do you get water bombing aircraft? How do you dust your crops and apply fertilisers and treatments when you've got different wakes from turbulence from the wind farms? There's so many different things, and I think that the countryside is really committed against this. And so I think that how on earth this continues with, I suppose, the city thinking this is great for the environment, but the people on the land are absolutely feeling the pain. It's quite remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we know as well prices are going up. It's been confirmed today. It's been signed off by the Australian Energy Regulator for its default market operator. So prices are going up by up to 9.7%. From July 1. I mean, you know, realistically, Aidan, how much longer can Labor keep up this facade? Because power bills have actually increased by up to $1,000 over the last 3 years, and it just keeps getting higher and higher.
That's a really good question, and in the highest of ironies at the moment, it's actually New South Wales that the highest costs are going up for. They're the ones that are experiencing a little over 9% increases. The other states a tiny bit less, and there's a simple reason for that. It's not actually Labor's fault in New South Wales. It's Matt Kean's renewable energy plan, the roadmap that he's rolled out in New South Wales, that is now finally coming to bite. This is the first time we've had one of these major state projects to fund huge rollout of renewable energy outside of the normal cost-benefit analyses. And those costs are finally falling due in New South Wales, which is why they're experiencing the highest price rises. So Matt Kean basically made his policy and his whole career in New South Wales as Energy Minister all about the competitive advantage that New South Wales should have for its ridiculously low-cost energy, and now it's turning out that they have the highest price rises because of the renewable energy infrastructure that he's pushed onto consumers here. So very ironic. Unfortunately, it's actually Matt Kean's policy that has been called out in this particular default market offer.
Yeah, terrific. And obviously a former Liberal as well, and now heading up this climate change authority and setting all these guidelines and these targets. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Aidan Morrison, it's been good to catch up. Thank you very much for joining me on the show this evening. Really appreciate it.